English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Sophia.
And I'm Mason.
And today, we're going to be talking about a very, very special topic.
That's right. Today's topic is one that really gets people thinking, dreaming, and even hoping. It's called looking for utopia.
Exactly. This topic is actually something that a lot of people have thought about for centuries. It's about this idea of a perfect place. So keep those comments coming because we want to create lessons on topics that interest you.
Yes, we're here for you, and this is such an interesting concept. Utopia, it's like this dream of a place where everything is good, everyone is happy, and life is just ... perfect.
So what makes a place perfect, Mason? Is it peace, happiness? Maybe it's the feeling of community.
Good questions. Sophia, people imagine utopia as a place without any problems, like no war, no hunger, and everyone has what they need. But the question is, can a place like this really exist?
Exactly. I think everyone has their own idea of what a utopia would be. For some, it might mean a place full of nature, with clean air, rivers, trees, and animals everywhere. For others, it could mean a place where technology has solved all our problems.
Yes, and for some people, utopia might just mean being around loved ones, feeling safe, and having a good life. It's interesting how utopia can be different for everyone.
It really shows how unique each person is. But here's something to think about. If everyone has a different idea of utopia, how could we actually create one place that makes everyone happy?
That's the challenge, isn't it? A perfect place for one person might not be so perfect for someone else. Like, let's say you love the city with lots of people, lights, and energy. But maybe someone else's perfect place is a quiet village with only a few people and lots of nature.
Right, so I guess looking for utopia isn't just about finding a place. It's also about understanding what makes people happy, and that's different for everyone. So maybe, Mason, the journey to find utopia is actually about finding peace with what we have, learning to appreciate things.
Wow, that's deep. Sophia, you're saying maybe utopia isn't a real place, but more of an idea or a feeling.
Yes, imagine if everyone thought that way. If everyone looked at the world with eyes of appreciation, maybe we would all feel closer to utopia. It's a bit like saying that maybe we can create our own utopia by finding happiness in small things.
So interesting. I think people often think utopia is a place far away or in the future, something we have to build. But what if it's more about finding those good moments every day? Being with family, helping others, or even just feeling grateful.
Yes, Mason, I think that's it. Maybe utopia is something we feel inside, something we can build through our actions, how we treat others, and how we look at life.
It's like every little thing we do, every choice we make can be part of creating this feeling of utopia. And if more people started thinking this way, maybe we'd have more peace and happiness in the world.
Yes, and it's something everyone can do. We don't need to wait for some perfect place to appear. We can start by being kinder, more understanding, and by looking for the good in life.
That's so true, and maybe, in a way, we're all on this journey together, looking for our own little utopias, finding what makes us feel complete and happy.
Exactly, Mason. And that's why this topic is so special. It's not just about finding a perfect place out there. It's about exploring what makes life meaningful for each of us, right here and now.
Beautifully said. Sophia, I think we've opened up a lot of ideas, and hopefully, it gets our listeners thinking about their own idea of utopia.
Yes, I hope so too. And we're just getting started on this journey. There's so much more to think about when it comes to this dream of a perfect place.
Definitely. So let's keep exploring, keep thinking, and keep dreaming about what makes life good, what makes it meaningful, and how each of us can build a little bit of utopia in our lives.
Exactly, Mason. So thinking about utopia as something we can create within ourselves, rather than somewhere we can go makes it feel much closer, doesn't it? Like, instead of waiting for a perfect place to come along, maybe we can focus on making each day a bit better.
Yes, absolutely. That's something everyone can do, right? It doesn't have to be big. Even a small thing, like helping someone or being grateful, can make our lives feel more like a utopia.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this idea so beautiful. Imagine if everyone took a little time each day to spread kindness or find something to be grateful for. It might sound simple, but maybe that's part of creating this feeling of utopia.
And it's something everyone can be part of. You don't need a lot of money or power to make a difference in your own life or someone else's. Sometimes, just a smile or a kind word can make someone's day feel a bit brighter.
Right, and if we keep doing these small things, if everyone just contributes a little, it all adds up. Imagine how much better our communities and our world would feel with just a bit more kindness, a bit more understanding.
I like that. It's like we're building our own little utopias, one small step at a time. And for those listening, maybe it's about finding ways to do that in your own life, whether it's through your relationships, your work, or even just your attitude.
Exactly, and it can start with simple things. Even the way we see challenges, for example. Instead of seeing every problem as a roadblock, maybe we can see them as opportunities to learn or grow.
I think that's so important. Life isn't always easy, but maybe part of creating a utopia is how we choose to face those hard times, too. It's about staying positive, looking for solutions, and not giving up.
Yes, and when we think of utopia as something we create within ourselves, then every experience, good or bad, becomes part of the journey. We don't have to wait for some perfect world to appear. We can create it, little by little, through the way we live each day.
That's a powerful idea, Sophia, and it makes me think that maybe utopia isn't really a destination, but a journey. It's something we're always working towards, something that we build with our actions, our thoughts, and our connections with others.
Exactly. And when we're on this journey together, sharing ideas, learning from each other, it becomes even more meaningful. Because in a way, everyone's version of utopia is connected. When one person is happier or feels more peaceful, it spreads to others.
Yes, happiness and kindness are like that. They're contagious in the best way possible. And so maybe creating utopia is about spreading those positive feelings to everyone around us.
Absolutely, Mason. And that's why talking about looking for utopia is so important. It's not just about dreaming of a perfect place, it's about finding ways to make our world, our communities, and our lives just a little bit better every day.
That's something everyone can relate to. I mean, we all want a good life, a happy life, and a meaningful life. And if we can see utopia as something within our reach, something we can create, then it feels more possible, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does. And it's such a hopeful thought, too, that we don't have to wait for someone else to build this perfect world. We have the power to start creating it right here, right now, just by being kind, patient, and open to others.
So true, and I hope our listeners feel inspired by that idea. Creating a utopia might sound big, but it's really just about the little things we do every day. And if we all do our part, then maybe, in a way, we're already living in it, bit by bit.
Exactly, Mason. And I think that's what makes this conversation so meaningful. Because utopia isn't just a dream or a faraway place, it's something we can feel and experience right here in our lives.
Right, Sophia. It's amazing to think of utopia not as something we have to search for far away, but as something we can start building right now with just our actions and choices.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes it feel so much more real. When we bring it down to our daily lives, it becomes something we can truly work towards, even in small ways.
Yes, and it's empowering too. We don't have to wait for some magical moment to live in a better world. We can start by doing something small, like appreciating the people around us or even just being present in our lives.
That's so true. And for anyone listening, I think that's an important takeaway. A lot of us are busy searching for happiness in big achievements, but sometimes the most meaningful experiences are found in the little things, like enjoying a meal, spending time with loved ones, or helping a friend.
Absolutely, Sophia. And if we start to see these moments as building blocks of our own utopia, then life becomes a little bit more special, doesn't it? Each positive choice adds up and makes everything feel more purposeful.
Yes, and I think it's all about realizing that we are constantly shaping our reality. Every moment, every choice, every connection, it all contributes to creating our own version of a utopia.
And maybe that's what makes this whole idea of looking for utopia so beautiful. It's not about finding some perfect place, but about making our own lives a bit closer to that ideal with each step we take.
Exactly, Mason. And in a way, it means that utopia is personal. What feels like utopia for one person might be different for someone else, and that's okay. It's all about finding what brings each of us a sense of peace and happiness.
That's a great point, Sophia. Everyone has their own version of a perfect life, and it's all valid. For some, it might be a quiet, simple life close to nature. For others, it could be a busy life filled with passion and excitement.
Yes, and the beauty is in knowing that whatever our version of utopia is, we can take steps to create it. It's like putting together a puzzle. Every positive moment or decision is another piece that fits into place.
And in the end, those small pieces make up the whole picture of what our lives become. It's a reminder that every day has meaning, even if it feels ordinary. Those little things build up to something truly wonderful over time.
Exactly, and that's something I hope our listeners take away from this. Even on days that feel a bit rough, there's always something we can do to make our own lives and even someone else's just a little bit better.
Right, and even those rough days are part of the journey. Just like a real utopia might have moments of challenge, our lives are going to have ups and downs. But that's part of what makes the happy moments so special.
Absolutely, Mason. If everything was perfect all the time, we might forget to appreciate the good things. Sometimes it's those challenging times that remind us of what really matters and show us the strength we have within.
Yes, and that's part of this whole idea, isn't it? Utopia isn't just about everything going perfectly. It's about creating a life that feels right even with the ups and downs. It's about knowing that we're making choices that bring us closer to our own version of happiness.
So true. And I think it's also about surrounding ourselves with the right people and influences. Being around positive, supportive people can help us feel that our lives are fuller and more meaningful.
Absolutely. Sometimes, the people around us are a big part of what makes life feel more like a utopia. Having friends, family, or even a supportive community around us can make a huge difference.
Right, and that's something everyone can work on. Building those strong connections, reaching out to others, and being there for them, it all adds to our sense of happiness and belonging.
Yes, Sophia, and it's so important to remember that these connections don't have to be perfect or huge. Sometimes, just a smile or a kind word can brighten someone's day and create that feeling of community.
Exactly. Little gestures can go a long way. It can be as simple as holding the door open for someone or asking a friend how they are doing. These small actions can make people feel valued and included, which is a huge part of creating our own utopia.
And when we make those connections, we not only help others, but we also help ourselves. It's a beautiful cycle. The more we give, the more we receive, and that can create an even more positive environment around us.
Absolutely, and this idea of building a community is not just about our immediate relationships. It can extend to our larger communities as well. Getting involved in local events or volunteering can also create that sense of belonging and purpose.
That's such a good point, Sophia. Community involvement can be very rewarding. When we step outside of ourselves and contribute to something bigger, we often find a deeper sense of fulfillment. It's like planting seeds of positivity that grow and flourish.
Yes, and think about how many different perspectives we can learn from by engaging with others. Everyone has their own experiences and stories, and sharing those can help us grow and expand our own understanding of life.
Exactly. And that exchange of ideas and experiences is what can help us shape our version of utopia. It's about being open to different viewpoints and learning from each other that can truly enrich our lives.
Right, and when we talk about utopia, it's also essential to recognize that it can change. What feels like a perfect life at one moment might evolve as we grow. Our goals and dreams may shift, and that's perfectly okay.
That's so true. Life is a journey, and we are constantly evolving. Our personal utopia can grow and change as we do. Embracing that fluidity is part of living a fulfilling life.
And this means being kind to ourselves along the way. We should allow ourselves to explore new ideas and passions, and not be too hard on ourselves when things don't go as planned. It's all part of the learning process.
Yes, self-compassion is vital. When we are gentle with ourselves, it helps us to stay positive and motivated. It allows us to keep moving forward, even when we face challenges.
And importantly, it encourages us to dream. Dreaming is a big part of looking for utopia. It helps us envision what we truly want in life. By dreaming big, we can create a roadmap to what makes us happy.
Absolutely, and those dreams can be big or small. Maybe it's dreaming about traveling the world, or perhaps it's as simple as wanting to have a cozy home filled with laughter and love. Every dream counts.
Yes, and sharing our dreams with others can also create more connections. When we express what we hope for, we often find others who share similar aspirations. It's like forming bonds over shared hopes.
And together, we can support each other in making those dreams come true. Whether it's through encouragement or just being there to listen, our connections can empower us to take action.
Exactly, and this, in turn, can create a beautiful cycle where each person's journey contributes to a larger sense of community and belonging, helping to create our unique version of utopia.
So, as we wrap up, it's clear that looking for utopia is really about the journey we take together. It's about those connections, dreams, and the way we support each other along the way. Each step we take, no matter how small, helps us build that perfect place in our hearts.
Yes, and it's important to remember that utopia doesn't have to be a distant dream. It can start right now in our everyday lives. By being kind, open-minded, and supportive, we can create a little piece of utopia wherever we go.
Exactly, and let's not forget about the role of gratitude. When we appreciate what we have and the people around us, we foster an environment that nurtures happiness and satisfaction.
That's a beautiful point, Mason. Gratitude helps us focus on the positive aspects of life. It reminds us of the good in our lives and encourages us to share that positivity with others.
And sharing gratitude can inspire more acts of kindness. When we acknowledge someone's efforts, it motivates them to continue being supportive and loving. It's a wonderful cycle that can help everyone feel more connected.
Definitely. So, as we think about our personal journeys towards our own utopias, let's keep in mind the importance of kindness, gratitude, and connection. These are the keys that can unlock happiness in our lives.
Right, and if you're listening, we encourage you to take a moment to reflect on what your utopia looks like. What small steps can you take today to move closer to that vision? Maybe it's reaching out to a friend, exploring a new hobby, or simply being more present in your daily life.
Those are fantastic suggestions, Mason. It's about finding joy in the process and celebrating the little victories along the way. Each effort counts and contributes to our overall happiness.
And remember, everyone's utopia is different, and that's what makes life so rich and interesting. We can learn from each other and grow together as we pursue our dreams.
Exactly. So let's keep dreaming and supporting one another. Thank you for joining us today as we explored this very special topic of looking for utopia.
Yes, thank you. We hope you found this discussion valuable and inspiring. Keep thinking about your own journey and how you can contribute to creating a better world for yourself and those around you.
And don't forget, it all starts with you. We wish you all the best on your journey toward finding your utopia.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye and take care.